Hello, I'm Courtney, what's up, and welcome to Book Talk. Today I'm gonna be discussing Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. If you don't know what Siege and Storm is, Siege and Storm is the sequel to Shadow and Bone, which I recently just read, and I loved that book. And oh my goodness, this book was just so much better, and it was amazing. If you don't know what Shadow and Bone is about, Shadow and Bone is about a girl named Alina, and she discovers that she's a Grisha, and Grisha have like these powers, and there's different types of Grisha, and Alina discovers that she's one, and she's the Sun Summoner. She has these light powers. Even though I really enjoyed Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm was just so much better, and I had so much fun reading it. It was just such a fun book, even though a lot of bad stuff happened. But still, I had a really fun time reading it. Since this is a sequel, I can't go into much detail or anything if you haven't read this or the first book. So if you have not read Siege and Storm and Shadow and Bone yet, what are you doing with your life? Go read it. So by not spoiling people, if you have not read the books yet, go read them. They're so good. Man, they're so good, man. And just by not spoiling people. Okay, so Siege and Storm. So Siege and Storm. We start right off in the beginning, 2 weeks after the events of Shadow and Bone. Guess what happens in, the end of chapter 1? Darkling shows up. Of course he does. Seeing the Darkling and seeing his new power, it's just, oh man, his new power creeps me out so much. It's so scary. So, the Darkling's there, and he's just like, I just wanted to thank you, Alina, for my new power. And then he creates the monster, the Nikovi. I don't know how to say that name, so I'm just gonna call them the monsters. But they're so scary. Just that scene, man. And then she got bitten by one and had that wound, and it's never gonna heal. But somehow, Mal and Alina manage to escape the Darkling again, and they escape the Darkling so many times in this book. I'm just like, how? How are you doing this? Because the Darkling is so powerful. Speaking of Mal, in my Shadow and Bone book talk, I was like, oh, Mal. No, I hate that guy. Man, I can't stand him. But now, I like him. He really is a nice guy. He was a really big help to us. And then, didn't know what to think of him in the end. Because then he was getting drunk and getting all those fights. And I was just like, why are you doing this to yourself, Mal? But he had good reasons. Because Alina was not being a good girlfriend. I just felt really bad for Mal throughout this whole story, because he's just getting forced to do these things. I knew when they were like, oh, we're gonna go to Os Alta and go to the little palace, I knew that Mal did not want to go because he did not belong there. He is not Grisha. He just didn't belong there. And then I just felt so bad for him when he and Alina got into that fight. It was so sad how Mal just wanted to spend time with Alina, and she was like, no, I have meetings and everything, and it was so sad. And then they kissed, and then she saw the Darkling. My goodness gracious, every time that Alina saw the Darkling and he would make moves on her and stuff, I didn't know what to think, because I shipped Alina and the Darkling in Shadow and Bone, and then you get to this, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Darkling anymore, but every time there was Alina and Darkling scene, I was just like, wait, is the ship actually gonna be a thing? What do I do? But I don't ship Alina and the Darkling anymore, because one, the Darkling is a pain. I don't like him. He's scary. He does need to die, and I thought he was dead at the end, but somehow he still managed to survive. But two, Nikolai. We get Nikolai, and my goodness, boy, do I love him. So, before we discover Nikolai, we have Sturmhond, and I loved Sturmhond. He was so much fun, and I just loved the part when they're on the ship. Ah, man, that part was just fantastic. And then the hummingbird scene, he made a plane, you could say. He created a plane, and it was awesome. And even though I love Nikolai, I still miss Sturmhond. But one of the best parts of this book was on the ship. It was just really fun. It was just so great. And it was blast. And that's also where we meet Tamar and Tola, the twins, and oh my goodness, they're so cool and kick butt. And that little twist at the end with them leading the pilgrims, I didn't see that coming. When the hummingbird crashes and Alina sees Sturmhond like all messed up, and she's just like, oh my gosh, you were tailored, and that army shows up, and he's just like, oh yeah, I'm Prince Nikola of Ravka, you know, my father's the king, you know, I'm a military officer of like the 23rd Regiment, you guys know me. And here's me reading this being like, wait, this prince dude, I don't remember him. But then Alina starts talking about this guy, and I'm just, oh my gosh, this is the guy they talked about, Shadow and Bone, that prince who was in the military and stuff and was barely here. This is him! I about died. I was like, you got to be joking. You cannot just take Sturmhond away from me and be a prince. Like, what? But, oh my gosh, I loved how when they were going through towns, you know, he was praising her in like every town, you know, he would like be making moves on her, and then they're leaving that one town and he points his arm around her waist and he's just like, please don't punch me, he whispered. Then he yanked me hard against his chest and pressed his lips to me, and then they get into the coach, and she's like, I turned on Nikola, I kicked him hard in the shin. He yelped, but that wasn't nearly satisfying enough. I kicked him again. You're not king yet, Sobachka, I said sharply, so don't tempt me. I don't see why you're upset. The crowd loved it. I didn't love it. He raised a brow. You didn't hate it! They barely knew each other, and Nikolai already kissed her, and then she kicked him, and just, it was so funny. So that being said, I ship Alina with Nikolai, even though Alina may still have a thing for Mal, and just, oh man, I don't want that to happen. But you know, I said I shipped Alina and the Darkling in Shadow and Bone, and I didn't like that Alina and Mal got together in Shadow and Bone. But then I started reading this, you know, they were kissing, being all lovey-dovey in the beginning, and I could take it, I was fine, but I never actually shipped it. I was like, okay, I'll read about it, I'm fine with this, you know, I'm okay. And then Nikolai showed up, and I was just like, oh, but yeah, you and Alina, yeah, you two need to be a thing. Oh my gosh, when Nikolai proposed, I was just like, what? Like, you guys barely know each other, and you're proposing, and poor Mal was there. He's just like, whoa, hey, I'm here, excuse me, no. And then later on, freaking Vasily proposes, and I'm just like, this is so weird. Speaking of Vasily, Nikolai's older brother, I hated that guy. Man, I hated him. I am so glad he was dead. But his death was a little brutal, though, you know. The monsters came, and then the monster grabbed Vasily, and he ripped his heart out of his socket, and just, it was so gross. I was so mad, you know, when Nikolai showed up and Vasily actually started doing all these kingly actions and just, you know, wanted to be in charge. I was just like, no, Nikolai's gonna be king. You're not. Literally, like, everyone died in this book. Ivan, the Darkling's, like, closest guard died, like, 50 pages in this book when they were on the ship with the Sea Whip. Like, Ivan died. And I was just like, what? And then Vasily died. That was really nice. And then poor Marie died. And I felt so bad for Sergei. And then Fedor died. My favorite Fedronot. I'm just kidding. Macius from Six Crows is my favorite Fedronot. But this, Fedor, I really liked him. And then he died. Let's talk about something happy. Like the scene when they got the dishes and it worked and they were all celebrating, we're in the lake and drinking champagne, and just that conversation between Nikolai and Alina, and he was just like, I want to kiss you. And Alina was like, you already have though. And he was like, I want to kiss you again. I was just all the feels. But then it was ruined because Nikolai said something about Mal. He was like, oh, you have to move on about him. And just, oh, Nikolai, why? But okay, let's talk about the end. I have to talk about the end right now. Oh my goodness, Vasily, this is why you can't be a king, because you're so stupid. So, you know, they're at Nikolai's birthday dinner, having a good time, you know. Vasily makes a toast, and I'm just like, oh boy, this is gonna go so well. And Vasily's just all like, you know, we have more to celebrate than the brothers' noble birth. And Vasily just talks about how he was going on this mission and he's like, oh, the Fedra are gonna go side with us. And you know, I'm just like, the Fedra are on our side. What? God bless Nikolai for asking all these questions. You know, Vasily talks about like the deal they made and everything, and how he opened up like these roads, these blockades, and it's at Unilesk, and they were talking about that place with like the Darkling. I'm getting mad because I'm starting to realize what like he's saying, and Nikolai's getting mad too, and you know, Nikolai's like, oh, we have to escape, the Darkling's coming, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, he is coming, this is happening. And Vasily's just like, oh no, don't be absurd, you know, you're just being dumb. Oh my gosh, when Vasily kind of just like said that Nikolai wasn't a part of the royal family, I was just like, oh my gosh, Vasily did not just go there. And then, you know, Vasily's just yelling, and guess what bell goes off? The warning bell. Oh my gosh, Nikolai and Alina say goodbye, and he touched her cheek. I was just like, don't leave me, Nikolai. It was pretty awesome though, seeing Toila and Tamer lead the pilgrims, because that's what they've been doing, because they lead the pilgrims, and just, it was so cool. So the Darkling shows up, and he's like, Alina, come with me, and Alina's just like, you know, no, like, I'm not coming with you. And then, when the Darkling talks about how Alina would see him, you know, and he was all like, you cannot lie to me. Do you think I could have come to you again and again if you had been less alone? You called to me and I answered. And he was actually there, and she was just like, you were there, and he was like on the fold in the palace last night, and just, oh my gosh, I cannot believe the Darkling was actually there. Oh my gosh, when Alina's like, I'll go, she's just like, alright, and just poor Mal, he was just yelling everything, and then she goes to the Darkling, and they kiss, and I was just like, my ship, it's becoming a thing, but like, it didn't immediately ship it right then, but I was just like, oh my gosh, it's actually happening. I love this realization Alina kind of has about their powers, and she's grabbing the Darkling's power, and the Darkling's dying, and then the building's crumbling. It's just, and it's crazy, man. So, you know, Alina's like pretty much almost dying, and they're going through the passageways that the parrot took. We find the passageway the parrot took, and I don't know what to think of that guy. He's weird, but he's gonna be a help to us. This end scene when Mal and Alina are talking, and this kind of showed that I don't think anything's gonna happen between Mal and Alina, because she was like, I noticed how far he stood from me, arms at his back like a guarded attention, and just, that kind of shows that nothing's really gonna happen anymore, and how he was like, once you use your power, you'll get better, and then she was like, I've tried, and I'm just like, wait a minute, what do you mean? And then, just the last word, the light won't come, Mal, my power is gone. What do you mean, Alina, that your power is gone? How? How? Is it because of the thing you did with the Darkling? Like, does the Darkling still have his power because of what she did to him? And I loved the after about how they were all like, she would rise. But this book destroyed me. I just had all the feels. But it was so good. But just, man, all the feels. And just that end. My goodness. But yes, my friends, that's it for this video today. Those are my overall thoughts and feels in Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to watch more videos from me, you can click the subscribe button down below. I'm Courtney, and I'll see you all next time with a new video up soon, so I'll see you then, so goodbye!